I was in the rolling hills of Sonoma County on that May day. It was a beautiful warm day, and I was just filled with confidence and anticipation because it was a day that I felt was going to be special, but I had no idea how special. As it turned out, it was both the unluckiest day of my life and, in many ways, one of the luckiest. I was at a campus that was designed for recipients of specially trained service dogs, and I was training to receive one. It's a campus by the run by the Canine Companions for Independence, and it's a wonderful organization that trains these service dogs and matches them for people with disabilities. I'm not the typical, if there is a typical disabled person, because my disabilities flare up and they're intermittent rather than constant, so I'm not always using a wheelchair or an assistive device, but when I have migraines, I am completely overwhelmed by the pain, the neurological difficulty of walking, and those times I really benefit from having a service dog. That morning, I was paired with a beautiful Labrador Golden Retriever dog named Naya. She was quick, intelligent, incredibly athletic, and that dog became my lifetime companion. She was an ideal service dog for me, and I was completely delighted. But right after I received her, I became suddenly incredibly ill. So ill that I knew I needed to go and lie down in my dorm room, and that is what I did. The moment my head hit the pillow, the thunderclap of a rupture happened. It was the strongest pain I've ever felt at any moment in my life. In fact, I thought to myself, I'm dying. Instantly, I couldn't see out of my right eye. I tasted blood in my throat. I couldn't lift my right arm. And my right leg was just like putty. I just couldn't move. I just crashed down. And all I could think was, this is it. This is the end. But somehow I did not lose consciousness. With each moment, oddly, the pain diminished. And with this fact, it gave me hope, because I have 2 other family members who died from ruptured aneurysms, and I recognized I'm having a ruptured aneurysm. This weakness on my side, I saw it as a stroke, and I thought, they had ruptures and they died. This pain, this thunderclap, it's a stroke, and I'm not dying. So that incredible pain, I'm having it and I'm not dying, so maybe I can survive. It gave me confidence. So I got this funny confidence that I could do something. So at that moment, I just had this feeling that now I need to get myself help. The help, well, it was going to be a difficult thing to get help because I could hardly move. I was out in the middle of Sonoma County, but my first thing to do was to call Larry, and that's what I did. But I do want to just point out for everybody who's had a friend or a family member who passed that way, that in my experience, that thunderclap is followed by a lessening of the pain. So it gives me confidence that our family members may have peaceful passings. My sight was very distorted. My legs weren't working, but I did pick up my cell phone. And I called Larry and I told him something bad has happened to me, but I'm going to get help. And I just want you to know I love you. I'm going to get to you. I'm going to figure out a way. And I didn't use the word stroke because he was more than 100 miles away, and I didn't want him to be freaked out. I didn't want him to be fearful. And plus, I thought I might die, and I wanted him just to have the most positive memory of me, because that was how I was feeling, was loving, and I didn't want him just be afraid. And all I could do at that moment was just tell him, I'm going to find a way. And that was, at that moment, all I could do. And the moment I got off the phone, I just decided I'm going to be like a lizard. I'm going to roll myself off this bed. I'm going to just lizard myself across the floor and get to that door. And even though I was nauseous, and even though I could only move one side of my body, I just used my slithery body, and that's what I did. And because it was a room for disabled people with service dogs, that room had on the knob an adaptive device for dogs to pull and to open the door. And it was with that I was able to pull with my left side and open the door. And amazingly, just by coincidence or good fortune, there was one person standing in the hall outside that door, and that person happened to be an off-duty sheriff's member of the sheriff's department. And that man, Mike, I said to him, I am having a stroke. I need your help. Please help me. And he instantly just kicked into action. He said, I'm going to take care of you. I'll get you to the hospital. And that is exactly what he did. He got me to Santa Rosa Hospital. The ER doctor there said, there is no way we can help you. You would die here in the night. We can't possibly take care of you. And so Mike took me and got me into another emergency vehicle to get me back down to UCSF. And when I heard those words, even though I was completely dazed at that point, it seared into my consciousness, because here was a doctor saying that I wouldn't last through the night. And I just recognized this is as close to death as I've ever been. But somehow I started to feel like I was being carried forth. I was being given whatever help I needed. And I had confidence still I was going to get what I needed. Somehow, everything I needed was coming for me, was the people around me were holding me up. And I am just so grateful for that. Mike did put me on that journey. He got me into that vehicle, and he called Larry and told him where I was going, where I'd be. And by that combination of wonderful people, people who gave of themselves, people who cared, I got to UCSF, and instantly people knew how to treat me. People knew exactly what to do to stabilize me until Dr. Lawton could treat me. All I can say is, for anybody who has an aneurysm, I just hope they never have a rupture. But if they do have a rupture, may they have someone like Dr. Lawton with the skills that he has to take care of them. And may they have people with the generosity that I met to carry them through the journey that they have to go through. Thank you all so much.